Coming up tonight, after a 2-year hiatus, Junkanoo is back on Bay. And guess what? The Saxons have picked number 1 for Boxing Day, the ill-fated number. The Road 250 off to a good start. A road race this morning signifying the first in a series of events celebrating the Bahamas' 50th anniversary of independence. And ta-da, is back. The entertainer turned activist hits the stage at Atlantis. Our Jean Joseph has the details straight ahead. This is Our News, a weekend edition. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Megan Shepard. Nervous Saturday is officially in the history books, and the order of entry for the 2022 Boxing Day Parade and 2023 New Year's Day Parade is officially sealed. After 2 long years, the Junkanoo community convened at Fort Charlotte for the nail-biting tradition. And after all was said and done, let's take a look at the order of entry. Fort Charlotte filled with Junkanoo lovers as they prepare to watch their favorite groups decide the order of entry. 6 blue eggs filled with 6 numbers went into the barrel to decide how groups will enter Bay Street, the magic center for the A groups. First into the barrel, music makers. Entering 5th, they'll be showcasing the Bahamas' strong faith, hope, and love. Next up, Roots. Second to the parade route, their theme will focus on healing the world. And what is considered to be a perfect position, one family will enter the parade route 4th. Their theme, Empires, Rise of the Warriors. Pulling the blue egg next, Genesis. As the 3rd entry, their theme will depict a wonderful year of celebrations. And then there were 2, the Valley Boys and Saxons beginning their competition early, this time to enter the parade route either 1st or 6th. The Valley Boys pulling out the blue egg. To their delight, lucky number 6. The Valley Boys will be bringing the magnificent wonders of the deep. And first to the parade route, the Saxons. Their theme, in praise of nature. And now that the order of entry has been finalized, the trash talk kicks into high gear. As the days wind down, we now wait to see how the A groups present their themes. Definitely something exciting to pay attention to. And Junkanoo is alive, and for the big return to Bay, things will be a bit different thanks to the new partnership with title sponsor Alive. You can now purchase your tickets from the comfort of your home with a new app. CEO of Alive, John Gomez, says this is the perfect merging of technology and culture.
This is technology. This is the platform that we have, and we want to leverage that technology to enhance the experience that users have in terms of making it a seamless purchasing of tickets. So we launched today, this afternoon. We're just excited, and we're here down at the Nervous Saturday, because when we talk about the digital experience and the digital age, people of all ages are now becoming more accustomed to using the technology, and so we figured that we would help to enhance or change the behaviors, so that people begin to get more comfortable in terms of using the apps and the technology.
The app was recently launched this afternoon at Nervous Saturday, and Vice President of Marketing and Consumer Solutions at Alive, Amber Carey, says it's already doing well.
We've sold over 1,000 tickets so far. We've got a lot of positive response so far on the experience. The fact that people can now go into the app, their tickets are there. They'll be able to send them to friends or family if they would like to. They'll be able to just scan a QR code when they go to the event. They don't have to worry about losing a paper ticket. We are also selling tickets in our Cable Beach and Harbor Bay store. So today and then obviously starting Monday again. It is available in the Android Play Store, and so available on all Google devices. We are working with Apple right now to get it out in iOS as soon as possible, and so we expect the next day or 2 to have them available as well.
The Road 250 off to a good start, bright and early this morning. Hundreds turning out for the first ever Independence-themed road race. Chairperson of the Bahamas Independence Secretariat, Her Excellency Leslie Miller-Bryce, says this was truly an amazing feat.
A healthier nation is exactly what we're looking for as we go into the 50th, and what better way to kick it off than a fun run and health walk. And so that's why we're here today.
Prime Minister Philip Davis also in attendance. He says the overwhelming support bodes well for what's to come on the road to 50.
One of the things that we have to attack and make an aggressive push for is to ensure that our people are well. Walking, running is a step towards that end. And so I'm very grateful that Bahamian people participate in such numbers today. And I hope that this could be a staple in our annual independence celebration. Just to remind us all that we need to be healthy.
Attendees had the option of completing a 5K or 10K race. They say it was a perfect day to kick off the celebrations.
It was awesome seeing everybody come together as one for the road to 50. It was such a great time. I mean, besides being a little hot right now, I feel good. I'm so happy that we made it to 50. I'm happy that a lot of people made it to C50, and that's a really huge opportunity for the Bahamas.
So we're here from Vegas. We've been here for about 2 weeks. We'll be here until January, but we just came out here to participate in the race.
How was it like for you this morning?
It was really good. The sunset was really nice and the weather was really nice.
Can you talk about this special participant?
She always goes everywhere with me. This is my bestie. She loves walking. She's just energetic everywhere we go, and she loves having a good time.
The weather was nice. They had people cheering you along, so it really was good to start the celebrations for independence. So I thought it was a good start to the independence celebration.
Attendees add that the turnout shows Bahamians are ready to celebrate.
I think it's a good milestone for the country. It shows that we have come a far way, but we have a lot further to go. But it's good to see that everyone is ready for the celebration and we're all just celebrating.
I'm so proud to be a Bahamian. I couldn't even tell you. I've been all over, but there's no place like the Bahamas.
A number of corporate partners joining in to promote the message of health and wellness. Meantime, vendors were also on site at Clifford Park. Her Excellency adding that this is just the beginning.
There are lots of things happening, but they're all in a vault right now. So I'm not able to say, but just know, Bahamians, we're here, the Independence Secretary. We're going to do an amazing job of giving the Bahamian, the general public, exactly what they deserve. Everything that we can possibly do from the bottom of our heart to celebrate 50 years.
Meantime, the silence of a Saturday morning shattered by gunshots. A second officer in charge of the Criminal Investigation Department, Superintendent Tariko Sweeting, telling media that shortly after 7 a.m., officers were called to the Garden Hills area.
A man was found lying inside of a vehicle and he appeared to be lifeless. The police officers responded. A short time later, EMS arrived on scene and pronounced the body lifeless. What we can say is that this male seemed to have received some injuries about his body. It appears to be gunshots, and the investigation is very active at this time.
Now, speculations immediately began circulating on social media that the victim was an employee of the passport office. Coupled with the fact that the body was discovered in a government vehicle, reporters asked Superintendent Sweeting about the identity of the victim.
We will not disclose that information at this time, but we can say that the vehicle he was found in does belong to the government of the Bahamas. We can say that the deceased was middle-aged, between the ages of 35 and 45.
And still to come on Our News Weekend Edition, Breezes has opened its doors to Carifta. The details straight ahead. And Solomon's to the rescue. Well, in Grand Bahama, that is. All of that is coming up when the Weekend Edition returns. Welcome back. The Carifta Games are set to be held in the Bahamas next year and will coincide with the country's 50th independence anniversary celebrations. It will be the 50th time that the Carifta Games are being held and the 9th time that the Bahamas has hosted the regional sporting event. During the official launch earlier this week, CEO of the local organizing committee for the Carifta Games, Lyndon Maycock, shared where the Athletes Village will be and its price tag.
The Athletes Village will be housed at the Breezes Hotel in Cable Beach, and roughly $1.2 million will be the cost for the Athletes Village.
Bahamas Amateur Athletic Association President Jermico Archer during the launch this week, adding that a talent search is ongoing to ensure that we have the best team possible for the Games.
We've mounted a talent and development search, and that has been a tremendous push in the interest, and not only the interest of young Bahamians throughout the islands, but young adults in the community itself has really become fully engaged in the support and the development of these athletes. And every time we go to an island, we are attracting numbers to the tune of 60 and 70 athletes at a time.
Fusion Superplex doing its part to get people off the unemployment line. This week, the company hosted a job fair in conjunction with the Department of Labor for persons in the areas of culinary services, food and beverage, maintenance, and technology. Chief People and Experience Officer Dr. Trevay Sherman describing the event as a community affair.
Oh, it's essential. We're a part of the community, and so we find it imperative that we participate in providing meaningful employment opportunities for persons within the community. Previous job fairs was a different time in the economy, and so we anticipated that this would have been a softer experience. We have a lot of properties that are opening the stores and are expanding in their employment pool at this time, and so we are satisfied that we're seeing some eager persons, and we look forward to seeing how they work and see if they become a part of our business.
Applicants sharing why they decided to show up to the job fair.
I think it's good that they're opening the jobs back to reopen the economy, so young persons like myself and others can actually contribute to the society and just be able to make an affordable living and to not depend on government assistance and be able to be free within themselves.
Well, it allows me to gain my own sense of independence instead of me relying on my parents so much. I just turned 18, so it feels good if I get a job and, wouldn't have to rely on my parents for a lot.
Some grand news for Grand Bahama this week as Solomon's officially opened their doors downtown Freeport. The project is significant for Grand Bahama as it seeks to revive the downtown community that was once a thriving area. In this report, the CEO of AML Foods tells us that Grand Bahamians will benefit greatly from the new store. The new Solomon's is worth over $4 million. The project that employs a large number of Bahamians is viewed as the rebirth of the downtown community. CEO of AML Foods, Garvin Watchorn, says AML is pleased to have been able to invest into downtown Freeport.
The emotion that we've got from folks coming in here, I had a lady crying. She was so happy. This means so much to her. And you can feel the emotion of a lot of folks here who grew up with this food store. It's part of their life, and they're seeing the store coming back as not just something for downtown, but for the whole of Grand Bahama. And it's a bit of a sign of rebirth, and we're very hopeful that it's going to, encourage other people to take the risk and take the punt on investing in Grand Bahama and making Grand Bahama grand again.
And he says he hopes this investment encourages other neighboring businesses in a positive way.
You're going to have a destination here where folks are going to come. It's going to be a traffic driver. If you're in the surrounding communities, they're going to be coming by your store, and maybe you can't afford to do major remodels, but see what you can do to spruce up your business and take advantage of all the business traffic that's going to come down here.
And as it relates to inflation, the CEO admits that it's challenging, but he and his team have been managing it.
We manage it by just forward buying as best we can. We've got a great price on turkeys, probably the best price in the whole country on turkeys right now, because we went out and did our work and we bought early and bought well. So we work really hard to get deals for our customers all the time. And our customer loyalty program gives savings, you get coupons, you get points back, and we're doing everything we can to help ease the effects of inflation on our customers.
When Our News comes back from the break, Bishop Neil Ellis is set to retire from Mount Tabor Church. He gives us the highs and lows of his time there. Stay tuned. And ta-da, there she goes again, performing at Atlantis. We have the details when Our News Weekend Edition returns. Welcome back. Today is International Day of Persons with Disabilities, and one Bahamian student studying in Canada is looking to make a difference. 25-year-old Antoine Roll says as a person who has cerebral palsy, he thought it was important to bring awareness to the day that is often overlooked and hopefully change the way people see those living with disabilities.
I'm someone that has a disability, and I realized that it wasn't celebrated as much, or it would kind of fly under the radar. We decided to go under a theme, CARE, C-A-R-E, and basically we decided that we were going to start celebrating people with disabilities and recognizing them for their efforts.
Now, a flag-raising ceremony was held recently on Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, Canada, where Roll currently lives. He says there will be a panel discussion where there will be discussions on the issues faced within the disabled community.
We're going to have a Q&A session to help people who are afraid to ask these questions, because I've noticed that a lot of times people are very afraid to ask questions, to say, hey, what condition do you have? A lot of people sometimes are. Now, you should be careful when asking those types of questions. I agree. But that's what the day is for, to break down those walls and to break down those barriers, to be comfortable, to know that this is a space to be comfortable, to ask such questions.
For years, he has shepherded countless congregants at Mount Tabor Church. Now, Bishop Neil Ellis is taking a step back. But as Berthany McDermott tells us, the journey came with its fair share of successes and trials.
After nearly 4 decades in ministry, Bishop Neil Ellis is stepping down from frontline ministry. But according to Ellis, the road to the mega church in Pinewood Gardens and an international fellowship with more than 1,500 churches in 43 countries wasn't an easy one. While appearing on RTV's On the Record with host Jerome Sawyer, Ellis recalls when he was first urged to go into ministry full-time back in 1987.
I had a dream, and I in the dream, the Lord pointed me to this scripture in the book of Judges: go ye up on Mount Tabor and take with you 10,000 men.
The dream from him and his wife gave birth to Mount Tabor Church. A year and a half into pastoring and working at Chicken Unlimited, the decision came to go full-fledged into ministry. This meant leaving his cushiony $80,000 salary job just as he bought a new home.
2 years later, my house next door to you was in the papers. We were not able to handle the mortgage.
He says the walk of faith also came with the mandate to do things differently.
We created something there in the ministry. It's now known all over the country and around the world as praise and worship.
But the couple came under fire for its revolutionary way of doing ministry for 86 consecutive weeks.
We were doing too much. We had built up a whole team of enemies.
Now Ellis says he's seeing the fruit of his labor. As for what's next for him,
I've given very little thought about what will follow, because I live this life of faith.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
It is December 3rd. The Junkanoo season has arrived, bringing cooler weather. Our forecast is coming up and Our News Weekend Edition returns. And ta-da! She is back. The entertainer turned activist is back on the stage. Our Jean Joseph has the details. Welcome back. The spirit of Junkanoo has brought cooler temperatures. Bring out the boots, tricks, and furs. Let's take a look at the weather report first. As a young girl, Tada always enjoyed her father's music in the church and at home. She knew it was her destiny. The musician turned activist has been fighting for children so they can grow up and fulfill their dreams. But she stayed taking a step back into the limelight for a celebratory concert. Here's our Jean Joseph with more from Tada.
Neil Burrows, also known as Tada, has been engaged in music her entire life. She decided to pursue music as a solo artist in 1998, following in her father's footsteps. Winning John Lennon's songwriting contest in 2001 catapulted her career, placing her on the world stage and allowing her to chase her dream.
I did a music business course, recording arts management in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, at the Harris Institute for the Arts, which thankfully I was able to do based on scholarships from Life Key Foundation, S.G. Ambrose, Charitable Arts Foundations, and others.
Tada came home around 2003, taking an alternate route to success.
Came back, didn't want to do jingles, which are little corporate theme songs for businesses, but I figured that's the only way to really make a living in the Bahamas as a recording artist songwriter. Did about 30 jingles in the span of 2 years. The most popular one is the Shoe Village jingle. The Shoe Village, shoes for all walks of life. And the Better in the Bahamas that I did in later years.
Burrows says the Bahamian music industry is far from where it needs to be and calls on those in places of power to help give it a boost.
We're hoping that the Ministry of Tourism, those industries that have budgets to fund creative industries, I know Fred Mitchell spoke about it recently, that they actually step forward and invest and develop creative industries, particularly music and recording arts in the Bahamas.
Though music is her love, Tada's activism has been her main focus. She advocates for children's rights and safety through her non-profit organization, Rise Bahamas. Now she's bringing the music back to the forefront with a December 10th Atlantis concert.
We're going to be featuring as well Shadfer, who is an actor, comedian, singer, etc. And also Tabby Burrows, who's my cousin. She's going to be in from London. So those are going to be my two supporting acts on the show, which I'll be headlining. And it's again going to be a mixture of styles. Going to do some cover songs by other artists and then Tada songs that people know and love.
Tada invites you to get your tickets on eventbrite.com and says the show will have something for everyone.
So it's going to be a family-friendly event, and we hope that people enjoy it, and we're going to be showing videos of different stages of my career, videos with dealing with advocacy with Rise Bahamas. It's going to be a good time, and I think people would appreciate what we're offering. Come to the show, let's have a good time. Check out eventbrite.com for tickets, and for VIP you can email getmusicpro@gmail.com. See you on December 10th at Atlantis Theater.
Get more of Tada on social media and streaming platforms and get your tickets to this one-of-a-kind show on December 10th. Reporting for Our News, Arts and Entertainment, I'm Jean Joseph.
Thanks, Jean, and thank you so much for joining us for Our News Weekend Edition. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepard, and yes, I did my part today at Road for 50 Road Race. Be sure you take part in the next event, and have a safe and enjoyable weekend. See you tomorrow.